if we have the following values, or the values indicated here in the table for f of x versus x, and we want to find what the graph of the derivative of this function would look like, one appropriate way of doing this would be to, for each interval, calculate the midpoint x value, which we'll call x mid, 0.5, 1.5, 2.5, and so forth. Clearly the midpoint values between the integer values of x, and the approximate f prime at the midpoint, which is going to be the average value of f prime over the interval of which x mid is the midpoint. So for example, on the first interval, f of x changes by -5, x changes by 1, the derivative will be change in f divided by change in x is going to be -5 divided by 1, or -5. And then we can easily calculate the other midpoint, f prime of midpoint values. And then we can look at the graph of f of x and the corresponding graph of f prime of x. Moving back just a little bit, we can see the f of x values, 18 decreasing down to 9, so we have 18 decreasing down to 9, then increasing on up to 30. The f prime of x values go from -5 to 9. They change by 2, then by 1, then by 2, 2, 2, and 4. So they come up, they kind of level off, and then they go on up again. And we see that when the graph of f of x is decreasing with a negative slope, f prime of x is negative. As f of x gradually levels off with the slope approaching 0, f prime of x approaches 0. And then the graph increases through greater and greater positive values, so f prime of x increases accordingly.